This is exactly what it looks like. A bunch of pens and pencils and markers.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Melinda, plain and simple.
It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for another Tiny Tidy. And this week I am going to be doing a follow-up for something that I did in one of my recent basement declutter videos. If you're not familiar with my channel, that's basically what I do is decluttering, decluttering my whole house, and I'm currently working on my basement, and I do a little at a time. If you can do the whole thing at once, great, but I can't do the whole thing at once, so I just do mine a little at a time. And so one of the things that I've been going through, I found a bunch of pens, and so I put them all together in a container, and now it's time for me to go through them. And so that's what I decided to do for today's Tiny Tidy, and it actually took me a lot longer than I anticipated. Sometimes we think it's going to take longer, but it doesn't, and then sometimes we don't think it's going to take so long, but it takes longer. Well, this is one of those. So it is a Tiny Tidy in that it's not very big. I'll show you. I've already gone through things, but this bin, it's not very big, right? You know, so I went through that, but it was full of pens and pencils and all kinds of stuff. So I did that, and that's going to be my Tiny Tidy. But then I decided I need to go through it again. So I'm going to do that. I haven't done that yet. I'm doing this intro, and then I'm going to go and give this another quick round and see if I can let go of even more stuff. So we'll see. You'll have to watch to find out. But if you didn't see last week's Tiny Tidy, that was also something that I did as a follow-up in my basement stuff, because those are making really good Tiny Tidies for me. And that one was actually a viewer suggestion. Cinderella fan made the suggestion that I transfer the totes and purses from the boxes into another plastic bin. That's what I did. And so if y'all have any suggestions for things that I can do with my Tiny Tidies, I'd love to hear from it, or hear from you. If you've got something that you need to tidy up around your house, maybe you have a big project you've been working on, and you have some things that you can, kind of littler things that you can take out of there or that you've put aside to do later. Maybe you want to tackle one of those along with me. But if not, just anything you've got around your house that you want to tidy up or declutter or organize or anything else, just grab your stuff and come on, and we'll do this together. And before we go, I want to say thank you to Sunday Dawn. She is the host of Tiny Tidy Tuesdays. Her channel is The Helpful Home, and I'll put a link in the description box below so you can check her out. And also, I will have a link to the playlist in the description box below so you can check out all the other Tiny Tidies. So now, let's get started. Grab your stuff, and let's go see what happens with my bin full of pens. These are the pens and pencils and markers that I gathered together in a recent basement decluttering video. And I don't need to keep all of these, so it's time for me to start sorting them out and making some decisions. Now that I have all of the pens sorted out into categories, I'm going to start testing them to see how they feel in my hand. And also, I'm going to be looking at the color of the ink, and I'm going to be seeing how the ink glides across the paper. And there's no reason for me to keep any pen that doesn't feel comfortable to me or that I don't like for some reason, because I have so many to choose from. I went through all the pens, and these are the ones that I'm going to be gifting away. I also have some that I'm going to be tossing away, along with some packaging and other things that just need to go in the trash or the recycle bin. But these are the ones that so far I'm keeping. I feel like it's still more than I really need, but I have markers and pens and pencils and mechanical pencils and colored pencils and colored pens. So there's a variety of things in here, and then I have some things down in here that are still in their packaging. So what I'm going to do is give it a couple days and then go through them again. Because sometimes we just have to go through things a couple of times so that we can let ourselves adjust to it and then get a little bit more of an idea of what we really think we really need. You know, because sometimes we just can't see it yet, right? So I've gotten the stuff that I'm sure I don't want to keep out of the way, and now that's going to make room for me to just hang back a little bit and then come back in again and give these a fresh look, because maybe there'll be some more that I'll be ready to let go of on the next round. When we have so much stuff like this, it's just not as simple as sorting out a few. This actually took me 5 hours to do. I didn't think it was going to take that long, but it actually took 5 hours to do because I was testing all of these pens and well, not the pencils, but the mechanical pencils. I did test those out, but by the time I got done sorting and then testing all of these and then deciding which ones to keep, it was 5 hours later. And so that may be why I didn't let go of more. But I did actually, I had put them in here, and then I did go back in and decided to let a few more go. So I think that probably if I give it another round, a couple of days later, allowing my mind to adjust just naturally. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to dwell on it. But I'm just going to let my mind have a natural time to rest between. And then I'm going to look at them again. And very often what happens then is I'll go, oh yeah, I don't really need that. Or, you know what? I have this one and I like it better than that one. Where the first go round, maybe I just couldn't make that decision. Because I couldn't tell the difference. After that long of messing around with it, you know, I probably couldn't tell. But it's okay to do more than one round. Most of the stuff I do it in more than one round. So I'm going to keep these for right now. And the good thing is, it all does fit nicely into this container. And I can put the lid on. So now, instead of 2 containers with these things in it, I have it all in one, and maybe I can get it down to where I have even less. Okay, time for round 2. I think it's been like 3, maybe 4 days since I went through these initially. So what I'm going to do is take all of these things out of this particular bag, lay them out, and see what I've got, and see if I'm ready to let any more of those go. And I'm thinking maybe these as well. I'm not sure. I may let these go, or I may hang on to them. I don't know. I'm going to look through this stuff first, and then I may tackle this a little bit more too. What I have are some mechanical pencils, some regular pencils. Some have been used, some haven't. I have some colored pencils. These are sort of souvenir types, and I'm going to give those to hubby because they're mostly science types. And then I had some other types of mechanical pencils, and he said he needed some. He had recently had to go buy some, so I'm going to give those to him. And then I also have a couple of highlighters, some Sharpies, some markers, and I have some black pens, blue pens, a variety of pens, different types. And then I have some colored pens. These are different types than these. So now what I'm going to do is go through all of these again and just test them out real quickly and see if I still want to keep them, and do I need to keep as many as I have put out to keep. I have a piece of paper here, and I've already started testing the markers. So I can tell you already I have decided that I'm going to keep both of these, and the reason is because the colors are different. Now I'm going to go through all the rest of this and make some decisions. Here you can see I went ahead and tested out the markers, even though I've decided I'm going to hang on to them. But what I did was I wrote with each of the colors, and since these have poo on them, I just wrote poo, and that way I'd know which one I wrote with. And then the emoji ones, that's what these are, I wrote with their colors, and I could see the differences. This particular color is almost exactly the same as the poo one. And you can see this one I thought was great. It's actually a purple color, but it's a different shade of purple. But the other thing is the emoji ones has a finer line to it than the poo, and the poo felt more comfortable in my hand. So that way, as I continue on with testing the pens and pencils, I'll do the same thing with those, and I'll be able to make little comparisons because I've made notes to myself, and I'll be able to go, oh yeah, this was the pen I was writing with versus this other pen that happens to be the same color. These are the ones that I'm going to keep. I have a fine, ultrafine, and a regular black Sharpie and a red Sharpie, and then I kept these pens. They're all comfortable, but I won't replace them. This is one of those advertisement kinds, but they're comfortable and I'll use them. This is the one that if I buy another pen to replace it, it'll be this one. It'll be the Bic Atlantis. I don't think you can see it on there very well, but the Bic Atlantis, I liked that. I liked the color of the ink. I liked how it wrote on the page. I liked how it felt in my hand. And then this pen, I'm sure would be just an inexpensive pen to have around. So these would be the ones that I would probably keep around and replace. And then I have some here that are black ink. I actually prefer blue ink. Some people prefer black. I prefer blue. But sometimes you need a black ink pen, so I'm keeping just a handful there. And then these are different kind of inks, so I would use those when I'm sketching or doing, you know, certain types of things with that sort of thing. And then I have a couple of highlighters. These are mechanical pencils. A couple of these are 0.7 millimeter. One of these is a 0.5 millimeter. I liked the feel of the lead in this one, but I don't know if I can find a replacement to go along with it. So I'm going to hang on to it and at least use it till it's gone. And then this is just some pencils that were already used, so I'm hanging on to those. And I have a few pencils that have not been even sharpened yet. Some ink pens that are in different colors, and I'll use those when I'm sketching and stuff. And then I have some markers that I can use when I'm sketching. And then I have some pens and pencils here that I'm going to give to hubby. He needed a couple of Sharpies, he needed some pens, and he needed some mechanical pencils. And then these are some pencils that have like science stuff on them, like there's the Kennedy Space Center and stuff. These are all things I will give to hubby. They would go in his bin. And then I'm going to ask him if he wants this mechanical pencil and pen and refills. I'm not sure if he'll want these, but I'm going to ask him. And then these are the ones that I am going to be letting go of. As I was going through and testing them again, I found that I didn't really like this one very much, and I had two more in the bin that had not been opened, so I just pulled those out as well. And then I thought, oh, I have enough pencils, and this one hadn't been sharpened, so I threw that in there. I don't need these colored Sharpies. I don't need that many pens. And there's this personalization paint marker, but also I had all of these colored pencils. And I decided, since I already have a pack of colored pencils down in the basement, I don't really need all of these, so I'm going to let them go. But that made me think I had more than one pack downstairs, so I went down there to grab the extras, and this is what I found. I found another one that's 50, and these two. And this one is not full, so some of those loose ones probably came out of there. And here's another full one, 24 count. So I'm going to go ahead and let all of those go as well. So not only am I letting go of some more of the pens and the pencils that I had gone through earlier, but I'm also going to let go of all of these as well. It doesn't cost me very much to buy a pen or two. So why is it so hard to just let go of just a few? I have more than I'll ever use before the ink dries out, and someone else could use a pen, I'm sure, without a doubt. But here I sit, surrounded by my hoard of pens galore, wondering just how I'll do without them anymore. Like this one here that always tends to sign my name real nice. It looks so good, I don't just write it once, I write it twice. And how about these with colored ink? They're great for drawing flowers. And that's the one I use to write poetic verse for hours. I have so many that I love and that I need and use. It's almost cruel to ask myself to choose which ones to lose. I guess I could just keep them all, since they're already mine. And maybe all these dried up ones aren't meant to be a sign. But if they are, I clearly see the writing on the wall. Share a few with others now, before you lose them all. Hubby didn't want the zebra mechanical pen and pencil set, so I added it to the pile of pens and pencils that I am decluttering today. And here is a look at all of the pens and pencils that I decluttered. And that is my tiny tidy for this week. Thanks again for watching and for supporting my channel and for leaving a comment and letting me know when you guys tidy up and declutter along with me, or just saying hi. I appreciate it so much. It means a lot to me. And be sure you check out the playlist because it means a lot to the other ladies too who are doing tiny tidies as well. So for now, I'm going to say happy decluttering and I'll see you next time.
There's my bubby. Did you get your tiny tidy done? Did you get your tiny tidy done today?